Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's keeping well. Welcome back to Beyond the Lane, episode 7. Nige, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, mate. Yeah, very well. Nearly into the middle of the week, and Spurs are 1-2 on the trot, so all good.
And hi, Harry. How are you doing, buddy? Thank you for coming onto the show tonight. How's
very
your day
good, thank you. Yeah, it's been very good, thank you. Thank you very much for having me on. Looking forward to getting into it. As I said, nearly in the middle of the week. Always a pleasure to talk Tottenham, review the last game, Galatasaray coming up. That's the thing with a busy period. There's the game either side. It's good, obviously, if you don't get the result, you've got a chance to bounce back very quickly. So, no, looking forward to it. Should be a good one.
No, man, thank you so much for coming on. This is your, what is it now, Nige, our third guest?
Fourth, really, isn't it?
Fourth?
We had Ariane, did we?
Oh, yeah, Ariane, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure.
I've got a technical difficulty right now. Nige, can you just take over for a sec until I sort that out?
Yeah, no probs. So Harry, I've got a few questions for you to start with. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, nice and easy, not too hardcore. So, what made you start a YouTube channel? And have you got any tips for people just starting on YouTube?
Yeah, great question. So for people who don't know, I created my channel at the back end of 2021. Purely, I love Tottenham. And I've had this saying, for quite a few years, pretty much since primary school, that I've always been confident in front of an audience. That's been my thing, kind of public speaking, I suppose, from a young age. I don't know why. So it's kind of one day put 2 and 2 together. And someone suggested to me, I think it was my mum and my dad, and about creating videos and showing people. So I created it purely just to show family and friends, see what they thought. They really enjoyed it. And then I created the YouTube channel, Nige, just to show friends and family and that. And it kind of escalate from there. Like my intro, they got 100, 200 views, that trailer, that first video. So it's been really, really good. But my advice would be to everyone, keep plugging away, because I've been doing it for quite a few nearly 3 years now. And to be honest with you, I'm not where I want to be, but seeing progress slowly but surely. So it is a long journey. They say it takes 7-10 years to get your YouTube channel where you'd want it to be. Obviously, that is a really brief term, but it's a long road. So keep plugging away, keep producing. Just keep up with it, the new content, be consistent, and continue to put the hard work in, because I'm a strong believer that you'll be rewarded for the hard work eventually. So no, it's been a good journey, and kind of a strange start for me, but it's been a few years now. I'm getting on with my YouTube journey.
No, I was going to say you are a really good speaker. You always talk really well, and something that I look up to, because I sometimes struggle with not so much talking, but sometimes I speak so quickly that my words come out before I thought I was going to say, or vice versa. So no, you're a bit of an inspiration, really, because you do speak really well.
Thank you.
Sorry about that, guys. Had a bit of a technical issue. The sound was coming out the laptop, and I wanted it to come through the earphones. So now I'm settled now.
Worries.
But I forgot to say to everybody watching that please like and subscribe to us all. Myself, Nige Purecois, and Harry Scarfey Spurs Talk. Be much appreciated as well. Please get involved with your comments throughout the show. And let's crack on now. Harry, that was a really interesting answer from yourself. Now, that's quite a long time you've been doing it for. Did you say 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years now. It's gone so quick, really quick.
And what age did you start doing it?
Let's try and work out. I'd done it, so it was on I'm pretty sure I set it up on my 13th birthday, and then I created the video. I think it was New Year's Eve, something like that. But the intro that I show family and friends, it massively blew up unexpectedly. And then I think it was a year and a half, maybe even 2 years after, I set up the X page myself, to purely just to promote the channel. And that as well was done so well since, and created amazing platform that I just didn't think was possible. So it just shows you really, it was only for family and friends, but it kind of took off from there. And once you've got a few hundred subscribers, a few hundred people, you know, interested, I suppose, in what you're doing, then I just wanted to kind of take it up from them. But yeah, I had the idea at 12, but I was waiting until I turned 13 when you can officially create a YouTube channel.
And did you create that video yourself?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was. I think it was on like my iPad at the time, which was really old. It was falling apart. So it was a bit of a struggle. A few probably retakes, but no, just a simple video expressing, you know, kind of the aim behind it. And we talking about Spurs. And I saw it come up. Actually, someone showed me it the other day, and I looked tiny in it. But it was only 3 years ago. So yeah, I created it all myself. I'd probably say the content's a little bit better now, a little bit more professional, slowed down, thought about, I suppose, and excellent people created thumbnails for me in and around me, give me advice. But yeah, 3 years ago, I can't believe how quick it's gone. I remember setting it up, and I remember thinking this is probably something that's going to last 5 minutes. So it's great to be sitting here with over 2,000 subscribers, and a privilege to go on amazing shows like yours tonight.
So I see, Harry, that you have a team around you, haven't you? And is that a team that you've built up over the years? How did that all happen?
Good question. No, it's very recently. I've in the past had a few people do like little jobs for me. They maybe go, this is my work, this is the prices, I'm going to send you some trials. What do you think of my work? Can you kind of promote it? So I've always been interested, and some people have really stood out to me, been really, really talented. For example, some people may know the Tottenham content creator is in a wheelchair called Alex Wilsey, and I think you know, incredibly talented, great content. And after speaking to him for a while and him creating a few designs, he's actually really, really talented. So he was one of the first members, for example, someone who wanted to help out with the admin work. So everyone's put themselves forward free of cost to kind of come as part of the team. In return, giving them that, you know, the audience are supposed to appeal to maybe talk in front or credit their work. So it's something that everyone kind of benefits from. But as I said, I've got amazing people in and around me, whether it be helping run the page, ideas, creating thumbnails. It's just a privilege to work alongside them. If people have seen my new intro for the show, that was created between me and Wilsey, talking through it and different ideas. It's probably the best intro I've had yet, and different things like that, as well as content ideas. So it's not many. We're talking, you know, probably 4 or 5 people, but everyone chips in, and it's just absolutely fantastic. And they're paramount to the growth, and it just wouldn't be possible without them.
Because what I've noticed, Harry, that you're a very busy man, very, very busy. I noticed a lot about your running. You're doing so well with your running, and always improving, always getting better, beating your times. Now, are you working towards something with the running?
I was originally. Thank you very much for your comments, by the way. Yeah, I was working towards a 5K running event in Ipswich. It's something my school takes part in, and wider schools. I think there's like 100 schools that compete. So it's like a bad event, and there's loads of races go on during your race. But it's something we do yearly. It's like last time I'd done it this year before leaving my school. So I wanted to make sure that I ended on a high kind of thing. So I worked really hard for this one, unlike previous years. But yeah, I always try and beat my running target. I'm up to 10K at the moment. I think today was my 5th or 6th run, 10 kilometers. So no, it's been really good. And it's been a fantastic year, 2024, in terms of I've got GCSEs next year. I'm not feeling the burden yet. Just get the last minute kind of revision in. The channel's going well and diet's going well, etc. I've lost all the weight, if not more than I wanted to. So everything in my life is kind of coming together really nicely, and hopefully you can say the same for Spurs as well, starting to come together. So no complaints really. But yeah, running something that I didn't realise how much I enjoyed until I got into it.
No, fantastic, man. Really impressive. So good for your health, all that exercise. It's fantastic stuff. Look, let's jump on to a couple more questions for you, Harry, before we move on to the football talk. Now, what was your biggest challenge you faced so far as a YouTuber, and how did you overcome it?
Good questions. Haters are never difficult, and I always believe to be open in these conversations, but at the same time not give them the airtime. There's been difficult instances, never in person, always online. But the hardest experience I recall is when a account was set up to mock me and one other individual who's massive and raised a lot of money, Craig Pankhurst, for a stroke charity of his own. Does fantastic work, and a page was created to impersonate, that's the word I'm looking for, both of us, and that was quite tough because it's quite humiliating and it went viral quite quickly. And this person just seemed to know all this information, seemed to get hold of things that they shouldn't be able to get hold of. So that was really hard, and they've come back with several accounts since. Each time they do get shut down, but every time it seems to take longer to get shut down. But yeah, another tough experience would be when I had this guy that people thought was legitimate who used an old photo of me. From a couple of years ago when I first started my YouTube, I suppose, social media journey, and tried to sell fake Spurs tickets. That's obviously not very good for the name, the reputation, and they got away with it without me knowing for a long while, and it was hard to get rid of them. So it's hard experiences like that, and there's just one where people send death threats, they take it far too far, and use threatening language. So that I'd be lying if I said to you it was easy to get to where I am today or where I want to be. But I also believe those experiences only make you stronger, and over time exposing some of those people and getting them to recognize that it's wrong what they've done. So I think all YouTubers experience hate, etc. at some point. It's about how you overcome it, how you use it to... I use it to inspire me. I look at that and go, look, you must be doing something right to get that level of attention, to get people create accounts of pictures of you, of names of you, and have people which have got this one account, which I think has just been deleted by X a few weeks ago to be shut down, but just every day posting rubbish and lies about me. So I'm glad to say it's gone. But no, it's been some challenging moments, but they've just made me stronger, tougher skin.
That's awful, Harry. I didn't know all about that, and I'm sorry to hear that's all happened. How do you protect yourself in the future? Is it a data security thing? Is it just, who are these people? Are they just I don't know what you call them, kind of fraudulent people?
Yeah, I think that's a nice way of putting it. I find it really sad, really, because as I said to you, I joined this app just to create videos for fun. I'd never, however it may appear, I never go on to X wanting to cause problem, wanting to upset everyone. And whenever I state an opinion, some things that I may feel strongly about, I'm generally very interested to hear other people's thoughts. So no, it has been sad to have those kind of experiences, and just different people tricking you, I suppose, and kind of using you in different ways. So it is sad, and there's no place for it on X, and kind of it was, we saw tough action at the start, but I think now it's really hard to get rid of an account. But at this moment in time, I don't want to jinx anything, but we're all good. But I find it funny how it all happens online, but in person, like when you see, I've had one or two cases where those persons, I've seen that individual not said anything, but seen them in person, and they've said absolutely nothing. So I do find it odd, and I've had different situations that have escalated massively, some that I can't sadly talk about, which is frustrating. But
madness.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy, but it is frustrating because I don't get what pleasure they get out of it. And it is frustrating when you try and, whether it be stand up for people, in my case of learning disabilities, or produce content, and some people can't see past that, which is a real shame. And you guys can both relate to it, probably different and similar ways. You're both on the app for a good reason, looking to create content, interaction, and there's always some people that accuse you of certain things that are negatives, and it is sad. And I think you're always going to get that, but I think social media companies have got to do more to get rid of it. And you talk about their tougher passwords, and I'm going on a bit here, but Instagram account was hacked a little while ago, so I changed everything, stronger passwords, and I got emailed from Instagram to say that there's someone, an individual that tried 450 times to hack my account in 30 days. So that was really scary, and they didn't manage to get in. I don't know how. I mean, that many attempts. So I didn't expect that. So there are sadly people out there with a lot of time on their hands, but all good in this moment in time.
Wow, man, scary stuff.
Yeah,
very.
I think it's absolutely shocking, and my sister had her Instagram hacked about 3 or 4 months ago. And listen, my sister doesn't do social media. She isn't into any of that. But because she lost her Instagram, she had to start it all again. She actually lost. I mean, we both lost our dad a couple of years ago, but all because they were friends on Instagram, all the liked pictures that he had liked, the comments he had put, she lost all of that. And these people don't realise that when they do these things, they really do affect people. So yeah, I think it's disgusting. And
Sorry
we've
to
been
hear,
quite
Nige.
lucky so far, haven't we, Dan? We haven't had really
No,
too much.
we've been fortunate, but we're still very new. Both myself and Nige, we're just getting going in this YouTube world. So, look, we've been warned by many people, guests, people we know in YouTube, of this. Big up Spurs Kings TV. Hope you're good.
It's so true. I see me every Sunday in Tesco, and we're being Costa or Tesco himself. So big up Marlon.
Big up Marlon. Okay, one more question, and it's kind of for you to ask us both a question.
Ooh.
So how can I put this? Look, if you could ask us both a question, obviously taking we're new to YouTube. Don't know if you've watched our content at all or seen us.
Yeah.
Ask us a question and just about doing YouTube, about content, about how we engage our viewers, anything.
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions. That's okay, and maybe one of you can answer one, and one the other is totally up to you. And one is, what made you start, create a YouTube channel? To the idea and executing it, and also where do you see the channel being in 5-10 years time?
Nige, you take that one first. Or you answer that one.
What made me start you personally? I just wanted to talk Tottenham, and I watch a lot of YouTube. I've been watching YouTube for the last 3 or 4 years. I don't even watch TV anymore. I don't know. I shouldn't even be paying my TV license because I literally just watch YouTube. It's all Spurs content and football content, and so much of it, I'm like, well, I don't agree with that. And I thought I need to put my voice out there. That was the main reason. Also, just suffering with anxiety, mental health. I think it just helps. It takes me away from the day-to-day life of work and money and worrying about bills, all that kind of thing. Just little things. It just for an hour here, an hour and a half, it will take me away from all that, and I can relax and just talk Spurs, as in where I see it in 5 years' time. Hopefully making enough money for me to retire. No, I'm joking. I don't know, much as where I am now, really. I guess if I could get a couple of 1,000 subs, that would be amazing. But yeah, that's a long way off yet.
Oh, lovely, thank you.
I'll ask answer your next question, Harry.
Good. It's gonna be anything to think now.
Sorry, you don't have to think of one, man.
No, it's right. I'll come up with a third. I'll tell you what, it's gonna be similar in terms of the future with the channel. Let's say again in 10 years' time, I kind of asked Nige where he sees it going. What would I don't think you should set a limit, but was there anything that you surprised you? Like if I said to you 3,000 subscribers in 10 years' time, do you think would that surprise you? Will you want to achieve more than that? Do you kind of set a limit and what you can achieve?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know how far this can go. All I do know is that currently I'm enjoying it. It's a good distraction from the life pressures, and I'm a very busy man. I have a family, I have a job. I'm very, very busy. I don't even know how I get the time to do this YouTube. Going on some other channels as well, which has been great fun. But what do I think of it in 5-10 years' time? Who knows? Who knows, Harry? I haven't put any limits on it. I'm just taking it week by week.
So go with the flow kind of thing.
Yeah,
and why you enjoy it.
It's a fun thing. I don't expect it to go far. It's just that getting about on YouTube, speaking my opinion,
Can I be totally honest with you?
Yeah.
I think sorry to interrupt. I think when YouTubers get bigger, and I do not associate myself with a big YouTuber. I think I'm a very, very small YouTuber with a channel that grows very, very slowly. But that's the thing. Like I get to a point now, I've done it for so long, and I do really enjoy it. But you forget sometimes that why, and you reminded me there why I started it. It's purely to do with enjoyment. When you get frustrated, like I do, where you wake up in the morning, there's nothing worse. You spend the day before, you spend several hours on editing, creating videos, and you lose subscribers, or your video doesn't, perform the way you'd expect in a negative way. It's so easy to get wrapped up in that, but it's really important to remember we're talking about the club that we love, Tottenham, which means so much to all of us on this panel tonight, and it's just about the enjoyment. So you're absolutely spot on. I think people get too hooked up in that side of it, and I really enjoy it. If you sit back and think, you really enjoy it. And Nice Talks there, it's great for what it does for, to not only raise the profile of like mental health, etc., but also help mental health, whether it be people listening to help them or to help yours, for example. Nigel, it's fantastic. It's that breakaway, and it's something that I look forward to. I know like every Monday night, 7:45 p.m. is my show. I look forward to that. And having great guests on as well is just fantastic. But I really appreciate both your answers. It's just really interesting to hear, because everyone always, everyone always has a different answer, and it's not a question that we think about in 10 years' time. It's quite a long way away. I mean, I don't know about you. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I try to pretend I do, and I try and plan with the show and that. But if you dive deeper, I don't know what I'm doing that far ahead.
Yeah, man. Look, just going back, just to finish off what I was saying, it's just meeting other people, feeling part of a community online, talking Spurs, talking about the club we like. There's so many different opinions, Spurs. There's just always so much to talk about with them. And yeah, man, it's good fun. So man, look, let's just see how it goes. Just getting on with it every week. I just jumped on. I started on Sava's new show on a Sunday, which was really good. So I'm going to be involved with that moving forward. And look, I enjoy debating. I enjoy people challenging my opinions, back and forth. Always keep it about the opinion, never personal. Yeah. Sometimes I might get a little bit annoyed or frustrated, but it's never about them. It's just about the opinion, and maybe probably feeling frustrated about the club on a whole. And I've been a Spurs support for quite some time, and Harry, I've had enough. I just want to win something, and it gets to the point now where, come on, how long is it going to go on? It's been 17 years and I haven't got any patience. My patience has run out. So I'm probably a little bit quick to criticize than some people. But look, that's just my style, and that's just how it goes. But look, guys, let's crack on with the football. Yeah, it was an amazing win at the weekend. And let's talk about that. Let's keep it positive. Now, are you good, guys, to crack on with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So let's just start off with the lineup. Was there any surprise in that lineup? Obviously, Maddison was dropped. Saul came in place for him. Obviously, Van der Ven was out because he's injured. I'll go to you, Harry, first. What did you think of that starting lineup on Sunday?
I was happy with it, to be honest with you. I really impressed, it's surprised, should I say, that Ange went with that midfield. And don't get me wrong, I like Maddison. I think overall he's had a positive start to the season, but I don't think it would have been right to see Maddison and Kulusevski in that team. We knew, I think, as fans going into both sets of fans, Villa and Spurs, going into this game, that midfield battle's key. They brought Onana in that midfield. Tielemans, excellent form coming into this game, whether it be Ramsey in there, whoever was going to be, Kamara. Villa have really strong midfield, and that's where the game, I think, has been won between these two sides in recent years. Villa Park, I think we got the midfield balance right. Bentancur, so key, especially in that first half before he got injured. I thought he was excellent in running the show, and led to the frustration of John McGinn getting sent off, because they just couldn't control that midfield. That's another player I'm forgetting. McGinn, really, really important. Villa had lots of midfielders in that lineup, but not necessarily in the midfield 3 or 4, if you like. They were a little bit on
so
the
Harry,
left,
I'll stop you there, because I've got a plan on how I'm going to talk about the first half. But jump in, obviously, at any point. But before we go on to the game and what actually happened in that first half, because there is some talking points, and I'd like to talk about it with you two. Nigel, was there anything about the starting lineup before I crack on to the actual match events and, what actually happened in that first half?
I was surprised Maddison was left out, to be honest, and slightly disappointed. But I do agree with Harry. I think we needed the two holding players more, more legs in the midfield as such. So, that's the only thing. I was surprised that Maddison didn't start.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, I was happy with that starting lineup myself. I think the midfield needed that more protection. Because Villa, as you said, Harry, they've got a really good midfield and dangerous team. They've got a bit of everything. Onana, he can defend, he can get the ball forward. You've got Tielemans, who's clever on the ball. You've got the workman like John McGinn, who's also very talented on the ball as well. He's not just a grafter. He can score goals, he can assist, he gets stuck in. So I think Ange making that decision of playing Sarr in the midfield was very sensible. So look, let's jump into the match. So there's a change of events which I want to run through as quickly as possible. And then I want you guys both to comment on your thoughts after the first half, okay? So after 9 minutes, I felt it was a very scrappy game. I saw Villa, they set up very tight and they were trying to play on the counter attack, which it wasn't a surprise to me. Spurs, as we do at home, especially, had lots of possession. And after we were winning the ball back well, I thought Villa sat in and we could not create opportunities. And this was after about 16 minutes. On about 19 minutes, Son played a ball through to Udogie, who ran into the box. It was deflected away for a corner. The corner was wasted by ourselves. On 21 minutes, Kulu did the same. He broke into the box. And again, it was put out for a corner, but nothing really came from the corner. 22 minutes, Bentancur had a shot where it went over. On 29 minutes, Ramsey had a shot, which deflected for a corner. On 30 minutes, there was a cross from the left, which Onana connected with. It hit the post. And I think, if I get this right, Vicario saved it onto the post. Is that what happened, guys? Can you remember that?
Yeah.
That Onana header? And then Vicario, kind of hit the post and hit Vicario and went wide.
Yeah, so that was the best chance of the game at that stage. After 30 minutes, Villa had the best chance. Then on 31 minutes, Villa's goal came. It was a corner came in. It deflected off Bentancur. Vicario had to save it, and then it bounced it into the path of Ramsey, who just fired it in. We could say it was another set-piece conceded goal. I think that was number 2 for the season after, 10 games. I thought, what was Spurs going to do at that point? We were getting very frustrated. The play was breaking down in the final third. I don't think we even had a shot on target at that point. Yes, Villa, they were defending very well. And Emery did set them up very well. And there's a little bit more I want to add to that when we finish this breakdown of the first half. Around 32 minutes, to be honest, we offered very little in an attacking sense. And what kept annoying me, guys, was our fullbacks were inverting. And especially Udogie, he was inverting so much. And Son would be up against his winger Cash, and he just couldn't get past him. After 35 minutes, there was another corner. Nothing came from it. Son made a run in the box after 36 minutes. Put away from a corner. Another corner wasted. Look, I thought Villa at that stage were doing what all good sides do. They were keeping it tight away from home. They were using the opportunities they could to attack. And obviously they punished us with that set piece. I thought Onana was a standout player for Everton. He was playing so well. He was breaking up the play. On 42 minutes, we're nearly at half time now. On 42 minutes, Watkins played a through ball, was played through. And he was up against Romero. And he did get past him, but he screwed his shot wide. Did Romero put Watkins off? Maybe he did a little bit. But Watkins, he's put them balls away in the past. So we had one final chance in that half, which was just a kind of a blazing effort from Bentancur. Now, I'm going to go over some key points, and then I want you guys to come in. I thought Sarr was playing well at that stage. His pressing was good. He was getting ahead of the play, even ahead of Kulusevski. Don't know if it reminded you that Sarr performance when he played against Man City. The game was very congested. Our fullbacks were inverting. I felt that we needed to stretch the play out. We needed those fullbacks to go left, go right, hug the touchline, to give us some more width. I thought we could put some more crosses in the box for the likes of Solanke and Johnson to run into. I was very disappointed with that first half, I've got to be honest, guys. But then I thought Emery, he did set up very well. He got it spot on. But, and as I said, that wasn't a surprise to me. And Villa, if you notice, they didn't have any natural wingers, did they, on the left and right? And players like McGinn and other midfielders were given a job by Emery to close down our fullbacks. So our creativity was not really there. And what you did see is that there was space for the likes of Sarr and Bentancur outside the box. And that's why we had some shots from outside the box, because we just couldn't get through. We just couldn't get any decent chances. So, guys, what's your thoughts on that first half?
Up to you, Nigel.
Much the same. I thought Spurs, had a lot of the ball. We huffed and puffed. There was a lot of sideways passing, but Villa did defend well. Villa sat in and they caught us on the transition. I would say, I don't think Spurs played badly. I just think Villa were just really solid, and we find it difficult to break them down. And I'll be honest, I think, we were lucky to go in only a goal down. I don't think there was much in it, but all the good chances came to Villa. I think I got a comment on the first goal, so it does really frustrate me. I think it come from a corner from the other side to start with, when a cross came in, and I just think it comes straight to Vicario's hands to catch. He punched it. From there, they then crossed it again for Onana to hit the post, and it wasn't long after that, literally, another corner, and they were 1-0 up. So I just think if Vicario caught it, that doesn't happen. So for me, he's got to get better, at catching balls and be not punching as much. But I'm sure that's something he can learn. De Gea was very much the same when he came into England for the first time. Wasn't great at crosses and got better. But yeah, I just thought Villa looked more dangerous up front and defended really well first half.
Harry, what did you think of that first half?
Yeah, I think Nigel summarises it perfectly. I don't think we were bad at all. I think Villa really good, really professional first half performance. I don't like to focus too much on the referee, but I think Craig Pawson had no control of that game from minute one. I think Martinez is allowed to get away with murder in particular. I get why Aston Villa are doing it, I'm not criticising them, but as a referee, it's your job to manage the game. Little things like Martinez 3 or 4 times deliberately didn't put the ball on the white line for the goal kick. So he knew the referee had to come over, check it, put the ball into position. It just takes extra time out the game. I think it does tell you something that Villa came here defensively and taking as much time as possible. They were worried about us. That's what that tells me. In the first half, I think we were okay. But Nigel, I think you're right. We could have been behind more than one. Big chances fallen to Villa. Dan, you mentioned it earlier. That chance to Watkins, you've got to bury that. Any striker should be scoring that. Watkins does score that. I don't think he's in a great... he had a great start to the season, to be totally honest with you. I don't think he's up and firing properly yet. Otherwise, he would have scored that. So, yeah, I don't think we were bad in the first half. And I knew that as the game would go on, that, we'd have more chances and we'd only improve. Villa would tire. And it was just about, can we get that goal? Because we've all seen, we saw it against West Ham, we saw it several times last season. Once we get that goal, we go on and win that game. Nine and a half times out of 10.
So you were very confident, Harry.
Swings our way.
Like.
I was very confident. Yeah, it was confident because I knew that Villa sat back at Villa Park last year and it didn't work. It only worked for a small period. I knew that we got the midfield balance right. I think Villa were evidently struggling in that midfield at half-time. As good as they were, it was a really good performance from Villa, but they weren't getting out a lot of times. So I could only see this going one way. For me, it was a case of, can we get more than a draw out of the game? Can we win this game? And when we got that first goal, early in that second half, I knew that we'd push on. Not as quick as I thought, though. It didn't happen, which we will get onto, but it was a while after we got that second goal. So no, I was happy with that first half performance, but it's obviously not perfect going behind, but it was a lot better, I think, than when we played Villa and lost last time out, where we also, yes, created a lot of chances, but we weren't as wasteful and we were taking on more shots, more sensible with the way we've done things in that first half. And it was only so long, I think. It was evident at half time that Villa couldn't sustain it.
Okay, very interesting. So let's jump onto that second half, because that was the best part of the game, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
That was the most enjoyable part. And let's run over it. So Ange didn't make any changes at half time. I don't know. But we started very fast. And on 48 minutes, Son on the left, he whipped in a fantastic ball, didn't he? Absolutely glorious ball. Some people called it a world-class cross, which was interesting. And then Johnson was there. He got on the end of it. And it was 1-1. And it was a little bit strange to see that, because Cash was left one-on-one with Son. So Villa's defensive discipline didn't start well in that second half. I wonder why that happened. Our tails were up then after that equaliser. And I saw us trying to push for a second one quite quickly after. We saw a doggy run into the box. He checked back his run. He pulled it across into Solanke. Solanke stopped it and had a shot. Just wasn't strong enough to really test the goalie. After that, on 54 minutes, Watkins out-muscled Romero. And then Porro come in with a flying tackle. And he got booked to kind of cover for Romero being weak on the ball. Porro was given a yellow card. On 55 minutes, Son was subbed for Ritchie, which I guess every Spurs fan must have been so disappointed, because, he had just put in that amazing cross. We all want Son to be on that pitch all the time. But, after thinking about it, I think it probably was the right decision, because he'd just come back from injury and we cannot afford to lose Son. So Ritchie came on, didn't he? And he came up on the left. Basuma also came on for Bentancur. I was okay with that change. Freshes the team up. New energy. But I just want to stop you guys here a little bit, because not long afterwards, I think it was around, let me have a look now, around that sort of time, 60 odd minutes possibly, Romero, he came in on a challenge on Rodgers, very, very rash, and he ends up injuring himself. And then he was subbed off for, I think it was Davis. Now, is it me, or do you both feel this, saying that Romero has not been good this season? Harry?
Yeah, I think that I can understand where people come from in terms of he's at fault for lots of goals, but I don't think he's been any worse than the other defenders, if that makes sense. And I think that we look vulnerable defensively at times. So there's no secret to that. But in terms of goals conceded, fourth best, fourth least, if you like, goals conceded. So that's where we want to be in the league table. So that doesn't, for me, cause concern. But yeah, it's just a rash tackle from a player that was frustrated with how the game went. We weren't winning at that time. It was 1-1. It was, although we were on top, we just couldn't quite get the second goal. And I talked about halftime how I was feeling confident. The more it went on, I was like, oh no, I think Villa could nick this. As much as confident I was earlier coming into the game again at halftime. As the longer it went on, we just had to get the goal. Luckily, we did. We didn't want it going into stoppage time, because we knew that the Villa, Bailey coming off the bench, etc. Buendia, they had that little bit of a threat still to come for the bench. Obviously, they rested more players, or rested the whole team against Crystal Palace in the cup before, whereas we only rested half the team. But yet Romero, rush of blood to the head, but I don't think he's been as bad as some people make out. I think Van de Ven, if we're being totally honest with you, I think as good as he is, some of his passing and is becoming a little bit of fault for some of the goals, and so are our fullbacks. So I think you could highlight any of the back line and go, they haven't been perfect.
It's good to hear a different opinion about Romero. For me, I don't think he's been good enough. That's just my opinion. I think, why is he doing things like that? Still making those rash challenges. He's injured himself.
There's no need.
Now
for
he's
it.
out. Now
yeah.
he's out. He can't help us now, can he? Maybe Harry Nige, that a break from the team might be good for him. Get him to reflect. Give Radu a run in the team. Maybe Maybe it
He's
may
done really
work
well,
out
isn't
for
he?
the better.
I credit to Dragusin in this game. Yeah, I thought he'd done really well, and he did the other night as well against Man City. Really solid, and I think a top defender we've got on our hands. It probably, if the backline defend the way they do, and I know the stats are really good, and I think it's because the midfield's done really well this year that defensively we've been all right, and maybe teams have come up against still yet to face City in the league and Liverpool, etc. But defensively the numbers are good. I think Dragusin's excellent, really superb, good with his head, no nonsense defender. We need more of that. When you're being pressed, just get rid of the ball. Doesn't matter how you play, get it out of danger. Don't pass from the back, give the ball away in your own box. And I like that. No nonsense defender, gets his head on everything. So I'd like to see more of him.
With Radu, and it'll be good to see him have a run in the team now, I think. Now Romero's out and Van der Ven's out. Let's see how he gets on in this team playing week in, week out. Because guys, we haven't really seen him have a run yet, have we? He came in last January. He's been in and out the side, had a couple of iffy games, but he hasn't been able to pick up that consistency. And all players need that. They all need that consistency, playing week in, week out. So, look, it'll be good to see how he gets on. And he's still very young. And let's see if he takes this opportunity. Because, guys, if he does do really well, then it's not a gimme that Romero jumps back in the team. We'll throw that one out there, guys.
Yeah, I think to be honest with you, I think Romero in terms of ability is probably, some people won't like this, I think our best player we've got in terms of his ceiling, and I think that he's a player that we may struggle to keep hold of if bigger clubs come knocking like Real Madrid. I look at that whole
sell
team.
him, Harry. Sell him.
And
not for me. Yeah,
I get the liability part. I've been quite critical of him at times, and that as you said, that tackle is crazy. But I think we talk about ceiling. I think he's the highest. Son, a few years ago, yes. I think if we had to, label one player in our team as world class, as rash as he can be at times, I think Romero is levels above the rest. And just in terms of playing ability, I think he's capable of it. I think he rushed the blood to the head sometimes, definitely. And the Argentinian tackle gets stuck in and unnecessary foul sometimes. But I think he is class. But I don't think he's in the best of forms. I don't think that's any secret.
I think Romero needs an experienced defender next to him to kind of help him. We were talking about this on Savage Show the other night, that he needs somebody to kind of help stabilize him in games. He's just too erratic for me. But look, let's move back onto the game. Sorry, Nigel, did you want to say anything about Romero? I forgot you there.
No, I think listen, I like Romero. I do think he's rash. I just find it really interesting. We got three totally different centre backs. Van der Ven is pace, recovery tackling. Romero's very comfortable on the ball, good on the ball playing out, and Dragusin is just an out-and-out defender. When Dragusin's on the ball, I have got my hands over my eyes a little bit sometimes because he does look uncomfortable on it. But actually, when he defends, he's probably the best defender we got.
Okay.
Just on defending.
Fair enough, Nige. Okay, so let's get back to the game. I felt like around the 63rd minute, we kind of lost a bit of attacking pressure. On 66 minutes, Sarr had a shot which dragged wide. Emery then, and this is a key moment, guys, in this game. At that point, Emery subbed off Rodgers for Duran. I think Rodgers picked up an injury. I know Rodgers didn't look too happy for coming off. But then that changed Villa's team to they lost obviously a midfielder and they had two forwards. So this is a key part in the game for me. On 75 minutes, this is when the second goal came. Sarr, he played it to Johnson. Johnson played it off to Kulu, and it was a really clever pass from Kulu into Solanke, and Solanke with a lifted finish. And it was a very well worked goal. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I thought it was a fantastic goal.
Yeah, I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah. It's a sign of a player of confidence as well, Solanke's got a lot of, hate, should I say, for his performances, for the fact he's not been scoring goals. But, he was put in then. He didn't panic. It was just a really, really classy finish. And it shows that he is a confident guy in front of goal.
Yeah.
A well-needed goal, Harry, wasn't it, for Solanke?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, we saw a fan on the overlap and other fans across social media from different clubs and even out of social media criticise Solanke, and it just shows they don't watch Tottenham, because I think he's had a really good start here. Okay, maybe not hit the ground running in the first few games, but his performances have been very good for quite a while now. So it's good to finally see him get the goals his performances deserve. Delightful from Decky. Solanke excellent. The awareness and that finish looks easy, but we know it's not. Sarr, as you mentioned, very key part in this move. Thought he was excellent, probably his best performance in the Spurs shirt on Sunday. And he's had some good performances. That's saying something. Bags of energy. So no, really good goal. I think that has to be up there for goal of the month. Everything that went right. And we're talking about Martinez. FIFA rate him as the best goalkeeper right now in the world, and I think that's probably right. And for us to put 4 past him, Solanke to put 2 past him, we must have an okay attack.
And I think we've scored the most goals in the Premier League. Is that right?
Yeah, more than Man City.
Now, look, to be honest, before that game, I was a bit of a Solanke hater. Maybe that's a bit harsh. I wasn't a hater, but I was questioning him. And I wanted him to score. I want him to score goals. We brought him to score goals. And as I said in the past, it's all well and good working hard, holding the ball up, pressing. We've brought him to put the ball away. And I was really
I don't think Ange has, though. That's why I don't know. I agree with you usually, but I think Ange is different. I think he couldn't care less how many goals Solanke scored. I think he'd be happy with his West Ham performance, where he got no goals and assists. But
tell me more, Harry. Tell me more.
Every creativity come through Solanke, and I think Ange really liked that. I think Ange is different to the typical manager. It doesn't bother him. Like with Johnson, he's a prime example. When he actually stopped scoring, he had that one performance. I think it might be Brentford. I can't remember who it was. It might have been West Ham. There's a performance where he didn't score, didn't get any assists, and Ange said that was Brennan's best performance since he joined the club, because he's tracking back, he worked hard, and when you watch it back, I go, oh, okay. He did get back more than he usually does. So Ange sees things that we don't see. So do different managers, but I think he's a different breed, if you like. So he'd be really happy, but the goals won't bother him. He'd love it shared around. I don't think it means anything to him. It's about your all-round performance, because times where he's criticised Johnson and when he scored. But he's all about the all-round performance. So I can understand where you're coming from. And usually you're right. And I think it's City's case with Haaland. Absolutely. He does absolutely nothing apart from put the ball in the back of the net. And that might sound awful, but he goes missing. He might as well read a newspaper until they need him at the back stick. So that's the difference in manager styles. And I don't necessarily agree with it, but that is the way it is. I think he'd be happy that Solanke's got a couple of goals for his confidence purely. But it'd be much rather the goals be shared around.
Look, it's a very interesting your outlook on it, Harry, and I get what you're saying. I think for me, look, I think you buy strikers to score goals first, foremost. That's what they're there for. Of course, they offer a lot. But I think for me, Harry, there's going to be games throughout the season where they're going to be really tight, playing against better teams in crucial moments. Maybe it's a cup match. Maybe it's a crucial match for the European race. And then you're looking for who is going to be that guy who's going to get that goal from us. And for me, and if we think back of Harry Kane we've had in the past, Son used to do it as well. That's what I want to see from Solanke. Getting that crucial goal. There's a word for it, Nige. You know it. You can tell me this word when the striker, I think you know it, don't you, Nige? It's called squeaky bum time. What is it? It's You don't know it? No. All right. Maybe it'll come back to me. But look, Solanke, I was very happy for him. He took both his goals very well, and let's just hope it continues. So look, let's jump onto the third goal. Sarr makes a good interception in midfield. He plays the ball out to Richie. Richie puts the ball in from the left in a run, and then Solanke was there to score his second goal, 3-1. And for me, that was game over then. Not a lot else happened after that. We saw Maddison come on, and then on 96 minutes, he put in a lovely free kick. And what a goal that was. What a goal. And that really put the icing on the cake to a fantastic second half performance. And like the old saying goes, guys, goals change games. And once we got that second goal, and it's something what you said, Harry, back when we were discussing the first half, once we get that goal, it's so crucial. And because we scored those goals, Villa, they could no longer sit back and they had to play. They were outnumbered in midfield when they took off that midfielder and put another striker on. And even we had lost off both our centre-backs. Van der Ven, we lost Romero. Davis came in. Obviously, Rado was playing. And really, Villa, they didn't really test us that much in that second half at all. So other than like a McGinn shot, which he went for a wild shot and it just went wide, it was, on the whole, what a good performance from Spurs. And for me, it was unexpected. Look, I thought we could win. I thought we could lose. But to win by 4-1 against a Villa side who were playing in the Champions League, they're in the top 4. They've got a very good manager, a very talented team. It was impressive from Spurs. And I have to be honest with both of you and everybody watching, it was a surprise. Whoever wants to take that, summarising the game next, by all means.
I'm never surprised when we win at home. I expect us to win our home games. I think we are a good side at home. Away, different kettle of fish. But at home, I never have any doubt. And like Harry said earlier, once we get one goal, we're likely to get 2, 3, 4. We're a team that, we're the sort of team that are never going to play brilliant for 90 minutes. We play really well in patches, and we can be absolutely deadly in a 15-minute patch, and we might score 2 or 3 goals. And we seem to be doing that a lot this season, especially at home. We'll have 15 minutes where we literally blow a team away and the game's done.
Yeah.
And Harry, your thoughts? You must have been over the moon, eh?
Absolutely, it's great to be there in the stadium as well. It was a really good second half, as you said, and a really good week for the club. Probably the best, I'd argue, since Ange Watch took over. Obviously, the start of the last season was fantastic, but it did feel like a honeymoon period, even when we were kind of just coming out of it. But looking, kind of back, it is an excellent week. 2 performances to be proud of. City, I think we flexed the system a little bit, defended when we needed to, gave blood, sweat and tears to defend really hard and get that result, which I think we thoroughly deserved. When another team was on top, you have to do that sometimes in cup competitions and in any league or competition. To go through to the next round or win your game is all that matters. And then Aston Villa, really good performance. I think we were good in the first half, as I said earlier. Second half, as Ange said, up 2, 3, 4 gears. Blew Villa away, and let's be very clear here. Villa, Emery's done excellent, by the way, and they've had a few bad results now, 2 or 3 in a row, but their long-term future is massive for them. This is still a big result. They're an established top 4 team, a really good manager who come into this game are probably feeling confident. I would say, having won at our stadium last year. So it's a really impressive result, Dan, and I'm really proud of the boys for both performances. It is a really good week. Now it's about finding that consistency on the road. But if you don't mind, I want to give a quick shout out to Ben Davis. I can't remember if it's the second or third goal he got the interception for, but he's a player that is second goal. Thank you. Gets a lot of criticism, but it's very dependable. Mr. Tottenham, if you like, been here 10 years now, and you can always rely on him, and I think he's excellent. And to be honest with you, this is no disrespect to Van der Ven and no disrespect to Romero when he come off as well. You might like this one a little bit more, Dan. You didn't notice that even them weren't there because of the job that Davis and Draxler done.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw
really
that.
Impressive.
We looked. He did come on. Again, it was a lot with that Villa not really testing us, and we had the game in control. So the defence wasn't under a lot of pressure. But look,
that's because we controlled the game. Look at Villa's attack; it's quite scary if you think about it. Rodgers, Watkins, it's an informal attack. Tielemans,
but don't you think, Harry, that's down to Emery's poor decision making, taking off a midfielder and putting on a forward?
He was injured, as you say, but you put too many midfielders in the lineup to start with, and then he didn't really feel like bringing Kamara on. He didn't have many minutes. He didn't have many options. So that's his fault, of course. He got it wrong. And got it right.
What I will say as well is when Romero came off, and one of my massive frustrations with Romero, as much as I like him, is he slows the game down so much.
Yeah,
and when Dragic and Davis just passing the ball a lot quicker, I felt that helped us. Whereas Romero will stand on the ball, wait for players to come, then play it. Yeah. And that frustrates the hell out of me.
He does do that a lot, doesn't he? Yeah, you're
he
right.
does, yeah.
He does well on the ball a lot, and he's not in a good form at the moment, Romero. But look, just two more questions before we kind of move on to the next subject. And I know, Harry, we haven't got you for much longer. How long we got you for, so I can check on the.
I can keep going. It's fine. Keep going. You're fine.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, so just what I'm going to ask Harry first. So what do you think, Harry? That result. How do you think that result impacts on both teams? And the team's standing and momentum in the league.
That's massive. It's a 6-pointer already, and this early in the season, it's massive. We'd have lost that game 8 points behind Aston Villa, and the top four means a lot to the club. That's a big distance, in 10 games. That's massive. We couldn't afford to do that, and now we're within 2 points of Villa. And if 3 or 4 results go our way, we could actually go into the international break in third place, which is absolutely bonkers. All the moaning, for myself included and others, we could actually be third, maybe, going into the international break. So we'll have to see. Keep an eye on the other results. But no, it's a massive momentum change. And that City game for me is probably even bigger because it's Man City, because they're the champions, because it's we haven't won a trophy. For me, it has to be the priority. 16 years without a trophy is too long. We have to end that. So for me, that momentum swing had to follow in that City game. And I think that helped us, propelled us in that Villa game. But Villa, it's still going to have big consequences on them. But let's be, they haven't had very good results against Bournemouth at home. To drop points in the 96th minute will be frustrating for them. To go out the cup, rested a lot of players, yes, but they would have wanted and expected to go through. That's why they gave plenty of the players the night off altogether, such as Ollie Watkins, etc., and played Duran from the start. That's why I'm surprised he come on. He played a lot of minutes and he didn't look right. It was a strange decision to play Duran and Watkins together, by the way. It hasn't worked so far. You speak to any Villa fan, and obviously this result for them is frustrating, but they're still on path to do well this year. I was thinking maybe they could capitalise on Arsenal potentially struggling and falling off a little bit, maybe get third place. I don't know. I have to see. I think it's too early to tell, but it's not the result that he would have wanted on his birthday either. So there we go. But no, it's a massive momentum swing. It should be for Spurs. Ipswich should be a win going into the international break, and obviously got Galatasaray on Thursday. So it's a big game. And when do you rotate? Because we don't want to see the likes of Solanke, Sarr get injured when they're in good form, Johnson. So we've got to protect our players, but also definitely win against Ipswich and not lose against Galatasaray.
That's good. Very good, Harry. Nige, question for you. What do you think Spurs need to do to improve for the next match?
Which one are we talking about? Galatasaray?
Could be either. Could be Galatasaray. Could be Ipswich. Just our kind of next couple of fixtures, maybe. I mean, it's hard with the Galatasaray one because it's going to be a bit of a makeshift team, isn't it?
It's really tough to call, isn't it? Well, even having a makeshift team against, we can't go too weak because this is going to be a really tough game, and the fact that we won 3 in a row in the Europa League gives us that little bit of a buffer. So it means we can afford to lose, but there's ways of losing. My concern is now with Van der Ven and Romero out, we only have Dragushin and Davis really as our fit centre halves. So they're going to have to play Thursday and hope that they don't get injured, because if they get injured, then we got problems for the weekend. So that's my concern, really. It's just getting through the Galatasaray game without any injuries. I'm not overly bothered on the score, to be honest with you. I don't care if we lose. Obviously, there are ways to win and ways to lose. I hope we don't get hammered. But I think we are going to be putting a weakened side out, and Galatasaray is a really tough place to go. For me, it's all about just getting as many fit players for the Ipswich game, and that's a must-win. And it will be really disappointing if we don't win that game, but I'm expecting us to win comfortably.
Nigel, you didn't answer the question. What does Spurs need to improve?
Need to improve?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, we just, we need to improve our away form, but as I've said, this is, we're going to be playing a weakened side, so it's hard to improve our away form when we'll be playing a scratch team.
Can I give something?
Sorry?
Pardon?
Can I give something that maybe we could improve on?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Please.
Play well for 90 minutes would be a good one. And I completely agree with Nige in terms of I think we see a lot of rotation in this game, whether you think rightly or wrongly to protect players, probably more rightly if I think about it. But it'd be a test of the players' mentality. And, it'd be interesting to see how far we've come, because Newcastle really struggled with that hostile environment, the last few years. So it's probably our first major test, I'd say, in the Europa League. The hardest, I think, in the whole group stage, because Rome are not in good form at the moment. Probably going to get a new manager before we play them at home as well. It could be a good or bad thing, who knows? But this is going to be a test. I expect changes, and I think that we'll see the likes of Archie Graham, Bergevall, maybe even Lancashire and more at periods as well in the game. So it'd be a big test for them, because there's no secret that it's not a nice place to go. It'd be hostile, it'd be tough for the team, and real mentality test. So it'd just be really interesting to see how we can improve on that. And we need to improve our away form. I know it's been all right in Europe so far. Sorry, I've got to bring it up. Someone said to me the other day, our form away from home in Europa League is great, isn't it? I turned around to them and said, we played one game away from home. I said, come back to me in 5-6 months. What one game against a team I hadn't even heard of, and we made hard work of it. But no, we need to improve consistency on the road.
No, that's good. Okay. Look, I mean, the Galatasaray game, I don't think there's really too much to talk about it. And you said quite a bit about it, Harry, and Nige as well. You've mentioned a bit about it. The only thing I really want to add on to that Galatasaray match is, again, and I think one of you mentioned it, is that it's so good for the young players to gain that experience playing in that really fiery environment, isn't it? What a test for the young guys playing under that pressure. And Galatasaray, other than a couple of defeats in the Champions League qualifiers against the young boys, their record at the moment is very good. They're winning the Turkish league. I think they're 5 points clear. They win most of their home games. That's not going to be an easy match for Spurs, and it's going to be a real good test for those young players. And we're going to see quite a few of them play, thrown in. There will be some first teamers in there, of course. It wouldn't be fair on the team just to play all the young players. But look, it's a game where even if we do drop points, we've already got 3 wins out of 3. As long as we win our home games, pick up another win away from home, it's a game that we can afford to drop points. I don't know if you both see that like myself.
Yeah, very similar. I think we can afford one defeat, and if we get that comes on Thursday, that's fine with me. It is a concern though. Like I say, the injuries we have, that we are going to have to rely on the young players, and it's expected a lot from them to go to Galatasaray and put on a performance. We are expecting a lot, so I think we've got to be calm, and I think as fans we got to go easy on them if we do get a pasting, because it could happen. It's one game, and let's hope they do us pride and
Look, we get behind them. We get behind them. Whatever happens, I'm sure it's going to be tough. But look, we've got to get behind them, and whatever. Even if we get away with a draw, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Harry, what do you think?
Yeah, I think a draw has got to be the aim going into this. And if we do lose, okay, it's frustrating, but we still can go through in this with Rome at home. But obviously, we want to give ourselves a better chance. Because I'm under the impression that I really want to win the Europa League. I think you kill 2 birds with one stone. You win it, and you qualify for the Champions League, which will mean a lot for the club. I was always someone, to be honest with you, the last few years at top 4 is like, we've got to be in there, we've got to be in the Champions League, we've got to get back. But now I think about it, it's just the sake of being in the competition, not to win it. Whereas Europa League is a real chance to win the competition, end our trophy trials. It has to be the priority for me. Top 4, trophy over a top 4 every single day of the week, and twice on a Sunday. So I think we have to prioritise that. But we can afford to lose this game, but to draw it while making wholesale changes and rotation will be an excellent boost for the younger players. I'd love to see the likes of Lancashire more thrive, because you've got to get used to this type of condition. We can, protect certain players, at times when it's right to do so, but you're going to face these hostile environments. You want to become it. It looks like some Mikey Moore, real talent, Bergevall. And I know they're young, but they have to be exposed to this type of environment. I believe it's really good for them, and I know Ange's a big believer of that, exposing them to more situations to grow as a person and a player. So we'll have to see how this game goes, but hopefully the only thing I don't want to see is us get beat badly and the second team look bad again. That's what I don't want. I want us to be in this game and show some fight.
Okay, yeah, no, good. Just a quick prediction before I move on to the next topic. Nigel, prediction? It's very hard to call.
Yeah. I'm going to be positive and go for a 1-1 draw.
Okay, and Harry?
Yeah, I was going to say 1-1, but I'll mix it up. I'll go 2-2. We've got to remember they've got Osimhen, they've got Davinson Sanchez as well coming back to us. So that'd be interesting to see.
Davinson Sanchez with the bullet header in the 80th minute to get the winner.
Someone said that, yeah, scored in added time. Can you imagine? But Osimhen is a worry. He is good. But let's be clear here, the difference between the Premier League and the Turkish League, it couldn't be bigger. It's a massive gap. However, they are the best in the Turkish League. They've only got 7 out of 9 points, I say only. It's less than us. 7 out of 9 points in the Europa League campaign so far. So I think that our second team can probably get a result. So I'm going 2-2.
I'm going 2-2 as well, Harry. I think there will be goals. I think they will score. And I think we'll grab a couple as well. So look at us all. We're all going for the draw. So, let's see. When's the game? A couple of days away now. Is it an early kickoff? Does anyone know? Is it this?
Yeah,
later
5:45. So I'm glad I'm not back at school because it annoys me when it is because I always miss the first little bit of it.
So it's finished work and back home quickly as possible. Get the game on.
It is absolutely that.
All right, so guys, it's this time now. We do this this section every week on Beyond the Lane. This time, Harry. Ange Watch. Now, I mean, Ange has had a good week. And it's very, very hard to criticise. Very, very hard. I don't know who wants to take this one first. Look, Nigel, do you want to take this one, or should we let Harry take this one first? Let's let the guests. Let's get the guests take.
Yeah, let's see what Harry thinks.
That's Harry. How has Ange been for you this week, and what have you been happy about, Ange, and what's impressed you? What's given you encouragement that Ange is the right man to take us forward?
Yeah, no, they're all very good questions that require an answer, and I hope I can give you that. For me, against Man City was a big one. I just think I felt the system was flex. Whether it was the players on the pitch that changed this way, but not pressing as high, sitting back a little bit and playing to our advantage because Johnson, kind of Werner, Solanke, for me, they all suit a counter-attacking system. I'm not asking Ange to play defensive football. I'm not asking him to play route one, long ball. But sometimes, for our own sake, for the benefit of the team, you have to go park your principles and go win first, because Ange Postecoglou is all about winning, right? And if he was, he'd put that over principles and style. And I think he'd done this in this game. And I was really impressed with that. And I think his in-game management seemed to get better. And I like, we've spoken about, when you think about it, Son coming off at the time he did, it made sense just coming back from injury, but it felt strange at the time having just got an assist. And I presume it felt weird. I wasn't opposed to it, like you said, Dan, but it felt weird. But you look at it, Davis come on, excellent. Basuma came on, controlled the game. Richarlison came on, got an assist. It was all really positive. Archie Gray come on, I thought done really well. So everywhere you look is really good. So his in-game management's getting better. So I've been really happy with him this week. I'll be a bit worried if anyone's not happy, because I think this is our best couple of games in the season so far. He certainly does make mistakes. He certainly isn't very flexible, but he seems a lot happy after beating Pep. I think it's a large element of it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter for me anyway how you win, because we're not going to remember. Do you guys remember some of the results last year, how we played? Or do you remember the result? Because I don't know about you, but I certainly, in years to come, will remember the result, because you can look back on it anywhere, Google, etc., Safari, but you can't really look into the performance apart from what stats give you. So it's about the result, all that matters, and sometimes you have to grind it out, and we've done that against Man City. It's really good to see. It's just all about consistency now on our away record, which is atrocious.
Nigel, what do you think of Ange in the last week?
as Harry said, it's hard to find any negatives. I think everything he's done has everything he's touched to gold, hasn't it? All his subs have worked. His systems have worked. He's like Harry said, he didn't. He changed it slightly against City. We were a bit more counter-attacking, suits our players a lot better. I just think, everything this week has been brilliant. We can't complain. As much as we like to, Dan, we can't.
Love a good complaint.
What do you think?
Listen, there's two things here. Okay, so you can talk about the games, you can talk about the performances, and when we win, and especially against good teams like Villa and Man City, it's fantastic stuff. Now, so how I see it, I kind of review the games. I praise when I see praise is due. I critique when I see fit to. And then there's the bigger picture. And the bigger picture for me, I haven't got the answers for the bigger picture yet. And I'm not fully convinced with Ange. But before I talk about that, and you guys can get involved with this conversation, Ange has done well. He has done very well the last couple of games. You can't argue it. Beating Man City, you could argue, look, Man City didn't take it that seriously. Pep didn't throw on Haaland, which kind of meant he wasn't too fussed about going out. But even with that, he still beat a very good team, whatever team they put out. The Villa game, obviously after that first half, as I said, it was very disappointing from us from a kind of attacking perspective. But then again, you have to give praise for Emery and the Villa side for how they set up. They had a game plan and they executed it perfectly in that first half. But the second half, Ange's subs did contribute for us to win that game. So you have to praise him. You have to praise that result. It was a fantastic result. And has it given me more hope about Ange? In some ways, yes. Longer term, I don't know. He's got a lot to prove for me because we have got a good home record this season. The home record hasn't been the problem. It's the away record, which we're yet to really, really, truly see if we can improve that. So, look, a lot of praise for Ange. He's done well this week. If you had to give him a score, you'd have to score him very highly because there's two massive results. And if we'd have lost that game against Villa, we could have been like 11th in the league, further away from the European spots. The pressure would be on. The noise from the fan base, it'd be a lot. So it was crucial that we beat Villa. Very, very crucial. So fair play to the boys, fair play to Ange. Now, let's move over to the kind of the bigger picture. And Harry, Nige, I wanted to talk about our kind of inconsistent form. I wanted to talk about the away form. And I think this is a good point to do that. And we'll do that. And then there's only kind of one thing we really need to talk about after that, and that's the Ipswich match. So let's just get down to the nitty gritty here. And look, I did a video today. Nige, I know you've seen some of it. Don't know if you have, Harry, but it's quite an interesting watch. I'm not going to go over what I said in it. Go and check it out. Have a listen. Now, for me, Ange has to do better away from home. He needs to adjust. To being more adaptable away from home. I'm not saying drop the high line back completely the whole game, but there's going to be periods in the game where we're under pressure, and it's not always going to go your way. We saw what happened at Palace. We saw what happened at Brighton. We saw what happened at Newcastle. And we also saw what happened at Leicester. So the away form must improve. And Ange needs to come up with a solution for us to improve as a team away from home. The last 14 matches away from home, we've only won 4 times since last season. So it is a shocking record. And it's a record we can't hide. We can't cover up. We can't deny. We can't we play attacking football. It's okay. Let Ange do what he wants to do. So there's a lot more to prove. Over the season, we will find out. There's a lot more games to play. But look, let me stop there now and let you two guys come in on this, because I'm really interested, and especially Harry, because you're a guest on the show, and I'm really interested to hear your thoughts and how you're feeling about Ange.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. To be totally honest with you, there's been times of the season where I've been really frustrated, but I think the last week has really reassured me that there is perhaps flexibility in there, because Antonio Conte, for example, I liked. I thought was a good manager, and I think done really well his time at Spurs, but failed to take responsibility for recognising the system didn't work. And we could see it as fans at 2 in midfield with an opposition that played 3. They were going to outnumber us in midfield and win that game. It happened every time. He could see that, but chose to ignore it because, again, sticking to principles. So I don't believe that. I don't think it's a good thing in football if you have a rigid way of thinking. Gary O'Neill, right? And I know he's Wolves manager. I know he's struggling at the moment. They've had a tough start to the season fixture-wise as well. But he went on Monday Night Football and gave Spurs' tactics away because we're that easy to figure out. So you have to flex sometimes. And Nige, I think one of you mentioned it earlier. I can't remember which one, so apologies, about the fullbacks inverting. Sometimes, no, it's not the best thing to do. If we're playing Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, there should be no reason whatsoever that the fullbacks are that high. There's no need. You protect yourself. You're away from home, and that's why our form's been so bad. Palace, we made it easy for them. We're never in that game. We expected to win the game, and we were never in it. It's really odd. We just didn't fight. We looked lackluster. I don't think the players knew what to do away from home. There was no. Felt there was no style, and my only criticism of him, right, is touchline. I'm not saying you have to bounce up and down like Conte and be a micromanager, but there has to be his hands in the pocket a lot. There's not a lot of action. I don't think the players know when they're doing right, when they're doing wrong. And there's times that Palace game will be me, come on, get back in the game. There's still time. Come on, bad. It'll be really shouting them. And I'm sure he does his work before the game and half time. I think there's something you've got to encourage them at times when we go behind against Villa. Come on, keep going. There's got to be a lot more. But at the same time, I think we've seen more of that in the last week. I noticed on the touchline a lot more proactive against Villa. So this week has given me a lot of reassurance that this project's exciting and there's just bumps in the road. But he does need to recognise a few areas, of course.
Look, Harry, very interesting what you've said, and you're saying that you acknowledge there is a problem, you acknowledge that something needs to be done. You want to see more from Ange, and not just the tactics, about how he is on the touchline. Being more enthusiastic, kind of. But I just don't think that's him, Harry. I don't think he's suddenly going to change.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. But if the team's really struggling, like Brighton, you cannot stand there with your hands in the pocket when we throw away 3 points and then turn around to the bench with 5 minutes to go and go like he did, clueless. And I'm sorry, he's paid a lot, and you have that game is very clear when Brighton got that first goal. And they had a couple of minutes with a couple of attacks. It's clear that they were going to score. And at 2-2, there's another period. Just make the changes. Throw someone on to control the game. It like it wasn't there. And that did frustrate me. And what he's got to realise is it isn't Scotland. As good as I think he is, it isn't Scotland. And you can't stand there for 20 minutes and still win 7-0. That's the difference. You have more chance of losing 7-0 here. And that's what he has to understand. But overall, I think he's got good ideas. I think he's a real father figure in that dressing room that the players look up to. I think he knows what he's talking about. And I think he can bring success to this football club. But there's some things that he has to go, okay, I'm wrong. But that's the thing with set pieces. He knows that the fans are right on that. He knows he was wrong. But he could have come out and said, sorry, I got this one wrong. But he didn't. That's my only thing. I know it's done now, but I think we fixed that problem mainly. I know we conceded, obviously, against Villa, but they are very good.
Good points, Harry. I just want to come back to one more thing that you said. You said because what you've seen in the last 2 games at home against Villa and Man City, you feel that because of what's happened in that games, it gives you confidence going into these away games. Just help me make a bit more sense of that.
I don't know if it gives me confidence going to the away game. It gives me confidence in the Ange project and the fact that he can flex and hopefully bring us success without being kind of identify the way that we play and stopping us. Because we all know how to play, right? And I never got it when under Kane and Mourinho went on. We're talking about our tactics on Monday Night Football. I was like, surely it's not what you do. You just make it easier the opposition. But no, away games I don't have much confidence on. I don't go into that Galatasaray game with a lot of confidence. But I have a little bit more confidence in Ange and his in-game management, which I think actually is really good. I think he realised against Brighton that actually, you have to change things. However good this team may be, Brighton make changes. They figured out, because what it was. Let's be very clear here, right? At Brighton at half time, if I've been hurt, sorry, I don't know what, but it's seen something, a weakness in us or a strength to stop, and Brighton just got something right, and there's so much success in that second half, and that's where you've got to counter it, do something. We didn't, before it was too late.
Exactly. Now let's bring Nige in, because Nige hasn't said something for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Nige, what do you want to input into this discussion?
I think Harry's said it all. I think Ange's his in-game management, I think, is great at home. I think he's quick to make subs if needed. I think, at home it all seems to work. When we go away, it's a different kettle of fish. He's not quick to make changes. And the Brighton game was the most frustrating game ever. But as much as he had his hands in his pockets, and he seems to be doing that a lot, we have seen him. He has, in the past, been vocal. We saw him at Stamford Bridge last season. I think it was Stamford Bridge, when he was absolutely berating Sarr for passing the ball backwards and, telling him not to pass the ball backwards. So he has got it in him. I don't know what happened in that Brighton game. And for me, that Brighton game is the main reason why Ange is getting so much stick. I think, like Harry, I think the last two games has given me hope. And I'll be the first to admit, I have been a fan who has said Ange out in the past because, I wasn't happy with the way things are going. But it's proven to me that he can adapt. And for that, I'm willing to give him time. Is he the man to take us forward and win us things? I'm not sure still. But at the moment, I'm content with what he's doing.
What I'm trying to get at to you guys, and what I'm trying to help me feel more positive about Ange, is that how do we translate what we're well at home into the away games? It's really difficult, isn't it? Because playing at home is so different, isn't it? You've got the crowd behind you. We're teams, when they come to our stadium, they sit back a lot. It's really hard to and what I'm trying to pick up from the fan base, and not everybody, there's still a lot of people questioning. Big up Draven, I hope all is well. What I'm trying to understand is, there is a bit of a overreaction of the last few games. Yes, celebrate the wins, fantastic. How can you can't? But how are people seeing that suddenly that everything's going to be okay, and that we were all wrong about Ange? This is what I'm hearing, Harry and Nige. The people who criticize Ange, who question things, it's like I told you so. And it's like, calm down. We've won 2 games, fantastic. But that doesn't tell us how we're going to get on away from home anywhere. Because we've gone to somewhere like Palace, who are 18th at that time, and lost. It's not even we've lost to like a top 6, top 8 team away from home, which we have done this season. We've actually gone to a place like Palace and drop points. We've gone to Leicester and drop points. So I'm just trying to kind of get why the kind of ultra positive about Ange. What are they seeing? Because until I see us win away from home and go on a run of, say, 3 or 4, 5 game winning run in the Premier League, I just don't think I'm seeing enough progression. Now, please, Harry.
I agree with you. No, I agree with you. I think there's not a lot to go off, but this has been a really big week for the club, and I can't remember one in recent years like it, where we've got 2 massive results in a single week. Obviously, it's really important how we get on the next couple of games for the international breaks. It'd be so Tottenham, wouldn't it, to slip up to Ipswich, for example, when we're expected to win. But I would say is, what have you seen, to flip the question, vice versa, what have you seen that, that you told against Ange Postecoglou? What's been that bad? after 9 games. There's been a few bumps and a few frustrating results, but we are in the quarterfinal of the Carabao Cup, and we are in the top 7 at the moment in the league, and I think we will only work our way up. We're in all competitions at the moment. 100% winning record in Europe. Won 7 out of the last 9 or 9 out of the last 11. However you look at it, scored the most goals in the Premier League. So what would you you can flip the question. You can look at it either way, can't you? Glass half empty, half full.
No,
I see it,
Harry, I love
full.
it. I love that question. I absolutely love it. So basically, let me just get this right. You flipped it on his head and you've put it back on me to say, why am I so unhappy? Rather than looking and talking about how other people feel and how other people are feeling. Because at the end of the day, everybody's going to feel different. Everybody's going to have a different opinion and a perspective on what's going on with Spurs right now. So it's a very good question, Harry. So let me tell you why I'm unconvinced by Ange. Now, it all started last season. After the first 10 games, we kind of fell off a lot. A lot of teams started to work us out. They worked us out. There was a kind of like, and Gary O'Neill, like you said earlier, Harry, he came up with the blueprint of how to beat Tottenham Hotspur. Sit back, keep it tight, play on the counter attack. And if you do that, you can have a lot of success against Spurs. So that happened throughout that season. A lot of teams are playing like that against us. Lower end teams, middle end teams, they would really try that blueprint. Some were successful, some weren't. What you found is that the low to the middle table teams, we'd normally just outgun them in the end because we have we've got better quality players. And even if they did put that tactic in place, we normally would win just because of the quality we have. But what we found is when we started to play the better teams, and we had a dreadful record other than the Villa away win against Liverpool, against City we lost to Chelsea twice, we lost to Arsenal at home, we lost to Brighton, we lost to Fulham. So all of this
but we all would have taken it though at the start of the season before he was appointed. I mean, look, that's one thing I will say. We all would have taken finishing 5th place at the start of the year before he was appointed, when he was appointed. Some people that sit here and go, maybe we all would have, hands down, considering where we were this season.
Harry, we only got
there, taken 5th place.
We only got there 5th place because of that start, Harry. That amazing start we had with his 9 wins out of 10. If it wasn't for that,
it wasn't a good end to the season. But again, all that matters is we done it. Surely, and then this year's about seeing progress. If we finish 6th this season, I'm totally with you. But I think it's too early to tell. And I think sacking Ange Postecoglou potentially or entertaining
I'm not saying that.
No, I know you're not saying that, but some fans are quietly, be quiet the last week or so. But I thought to start another project under a new manager, we just go backwards. What's the point? I don't see the point of it. Ange annoys me at times, but
I just think it's my reservations.
Why would we waste a year and a half?
It's my reservations, Harry, and what it is. So let me just finish, and please come back at me after.
Go on.
So going into this, then it comes to the summer. It's all right, Harry. It's no problem. It's all good. I'm really enjoying this conversation. Yeah, man, it's really interesting.
That's good. It's good.
It's good fun, and this is how we should do it. We should debate in a healthy way, and I'm all for it. And it's brilliant.
Absolutely.
So the summer transfer window comes, and you're rubbing your hands together. You're thinking, "Cool, look, who are we going to sign?" And we see all the names who we link for. You know what it's like, guys. To link to this one, link to that one. You think, "Cool, we get them in. Yeah, we can really push on this season." And then Timo Werner. We signed Timo Werner, and we're thinking, blimey, what's that all about? He's not good. He is not good. But okay, it's the first signing of the transfer window. It's a loan signing. It doesn't mean we're keeping him forever. A third choice backup, 4th choice backup. I don't know. Look, I can't ever justify that signing. And then who do we get then? Who is our next signing? And I probably need a little bit of help there from my memory. So who was the next one, Harry or Nige? Who did we bring in next in that summer transfer window?
Archie Gray, didn't we?
Archie Gray. Okay. On the face of it, a talented young player, with a lot of potential. Fantastic. Happy with that signing, of course. But we've lost Holberg. We've lost experience. Yes, Holberg wasn't the best player in the world, But what he gave you was heart, fight, and experience.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
I'm thinking, okay, so there was a lot of links to Conor Gallagher. Do I rate him as a player? I think he's okay. I think he's got a lot of strengths. It never happened. So throughout the summer, I'm thinking, well, who are we bringing in? Who are we going to bring in to improve this team? And I was always thinking we needed a defensive type midfielder, somebody a bit like Onana that Villa signed, somebody like that, a strong physical presence in that midfield, or a player who can control games, who can keep the ball, keep it moving when the team's under a pressure. A Rodri type player. Obviously, we're never going to get that top level of player, but somebody who could keep hold of the ball and keep us calm when in games we're under pressure, and that you just need that bit of kind of stability. It never happened. It never come. Who was the next signing after that, Nige? Or Harry?
I would probably say the guy who's not here yet, Jan.
Yang? Okay, which doesn't really help us. So that was a bit of a nothing signing because he's not here. Was it Solanke?
Then it was Solanke, I think, yeah.
So Solanke. So let's talk about Solanke. Now, do I think we could have brought a better forward in? 100%. But do I like Solanke? I think based on last season, he scored 19 goals. He had a good season. He's English, so I understand that we need English players. Was I over the moon with it? No. I'm like, oh wow, what a signing that is. He's going to be a game changer for us. No. I was thinking of reasons why Solanke could be good for us. You've got to remember he's had one good season in the Premier League. Yes, he's smashed in goals in the Championship, but yet to be kind of, fully established as a consistent Premier League goal scorer. But hey, £65 million, a lot of money. He's come in and we've got him. So then the next signing after that, Wilson Olderberg coming in?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the wingers. I was hoping in the summer that we would sign a pacey one-on-one specialist winger, somebody like a Neto. Doesn't have to be Neto, could be a Neze. Somebody who's going to be a game changer in our attack. Somebody who can take on a man, get assists, consistently take on the fullback throughout the game when teams are in the low block. Somebody who can break down defences. It never happened. We signed Wilson, didn't really know much about him. So it was a disappointment. Another young player. So let's do it. We have Werner, no good. Gray, lot of potential, but probably not ready. Wilson, for another one for the future. Solanke, we don't know. Maybe he will come good this season, and I hope he does. Who else was there who came in that window? Bergvall came in January, but we didn't sign him to the summer.
What does that have to do though with we're not giving you the confidence in Ange that the board have recruited in this way? Because
the money should have stopped. Ange should have spoke up to Levy and said, "I need ready-made players."
He's not going to do it in the He's not going to do it in the public eye, is he? He's not going to say, "I'm going to do a Conte and I'm really and want to get sacked." That just isn't normal in any profession.
This is just all part of the reason. It's all part of the reason for me why I'm worried, and I do not feel confident that this season that we're going to progress. The evidence is in the league table.
I can understand that, but we've brought in an established striker. Finally, the replacement for Harry Kane. Now, for me, that gives me confidence, and we're investing in the future. Definitely, we could have done more in the winger. For example, big issue. We didn't address the left back issue. I think asking a doggy to play that many games when Ben Davies can't play in this inverted system, it's mad. There's some things we didn't address. I'm not making up that it was a perfect window, but I don't think it's as bad as some people do make out. I think we sign young players for the future, established players like Solanke in there as well. Werner, I don't agree with, but if Ange wants him at the club have backed him. Okay, Ange wants that player, but he does know what he's talking about at the end of the day. He has won trophies. Whether it work in England or not, I don't know, but he does know what he's talking about. We have to believe him, and he has to have the second season. And we really know then when he's improved. Already, we've gone further in the Carabao Cup, so that for me is tick progress in that cup.
Harry, I think Ange is in a difficult position, and I think you're right. It is a good point.
I think his hands are tied. What he can say is all I'm going to say.
And that is just how it is. So I do get that. But look, there's a lot of things I'm frustrated about, and the transfer window is a massive thing for me. I just do not feel we've done enough for us to push on this year. And if you look at the league table, you look at the results, we've won 5, lost 4, drawn 1. So when it comes to over-round performances, we haven't seen an improvement. We're 10 points worse off than the beginning of last season. We're still struggling away from home. We haven't got that player who can really pick up this team when we're up against it. And the evidence is there in the away performances. So, Harry, what do you think is improving at Spurs this season? And that's a good point about the Cup, because we are through to the quarterfinals, which is better than last season. So I'll give you that.
And there's not many games to judge off on, but it's simple things like, we lost Aston Villa at home last year and we've won, but you could flip it the other way and go Crystal Palace. Last year we won that and we've lost this year. So I totally agree. I think it is swings and roundabouts in football. It's not a lot to go off 9 games, but I think our transfer window was okay. I think Solanke will make a big difference. I think as the season goes on, we'll see consistency. I think it will come together nicely. I think in Europe we're doing really well. And I think we were having this conversation 4-5 months' time when we're in the top 4 race. We're in the Europa League, last 5-6 teams in it. We're in either the FA Cup or Carabao Cup, last 5 or 6 as well. I think that we do well, but I do agree with you that maybe we don't have the squad to do well in more than one. I think if we went all out for the Europa League, we could do really well. But I don't think we could do the Europa League and the league as well with the players. It's not a lot to judge off of, to put it simply, in terms of whether we improved or not. All I know is
what you've seen, Harry, this
Ange needs more time.
What have you seen this first 10
Flexibility from the manager, just better performances from the players. I think we played a lot better than we did at times last season. We ended the season really badly. That's no secret. And I think performances have been really good, even when we haven't got the results this year.
Okay.
So Brighton goes awful, but we were good in periods. It's just about consistency for me. And now we've got a lot of players out, which is frustrating. So I think, the system's high demanding as well. That's the thing. But when you see more flexibility from your manager and you're progressing in a competition that means so much to the fans, to me, that is as much progress as you're going to see in 9-10 games.
Time will tell, Harry, Time will tell.
Indeed.
And we will all find out. And we will keep coming back to this debate. And we will.
And I'm not saying, by the way, that he's the answer and he's going to win things, but I think he needs more time. Let's put it out there.
No, and that's fair, Harry, and that's your opinion, and that's how you feel, and that's fine, totally fine, and I totally understand where you're coming from. Nige, did you want to chime in with anything about this conversation?
The only other thing I say is you're also getting better performances from individuals. So Johnson has already scored more than he did last season. Mm-hmm. He's getting in better positions. Listen, a lot's been said about Johnson. If you're looking for the sort of player that's going to get you off your seat, he's not the guy. But if you want numbers, goals and assists, then he is. He will get goals and assists. Kulu has been better in the first 10, 12 games this season than he was all of last season. I think Kulu's been brilliant. I just think individual players are starting to show up. But for me, it's just a little bit too early in the season. I think we need to maybe look 16, 17 games in the league, and then we can really judge on whether Ange is doing a good job or not. But we definitely need to improve that away form.
Like I said, guys, at the beginning of the show, when I kind of briefed Harry on my kind of feelings about the club and how frustrated I am as a fan, how I've kind of lost all patience. And that's just me. That's how I think. And many others do think the same. Now, I think just to quickly summarize this conversation, we will really truly know if we've made progression under this manager and this team have truly made progression is when we get to crunch time in the new season, in the new year. Okay. Are we still in the Carabao Cup? I think we will definitely be still in Europe. We'll be in the FA Cup. We'll be going for those European positions. Which European position? Who knows right now? I don't know. I do not think we'll get Champions League, but maybe we could get a Europa League position. Possibly. Depends on the teams around us as well and how they're performing. So, look, as I said, we'll be going back to this conversation week in, week out. We'll be, and that's why we do the Ange Watch, isn't it, Nige and Harry?
Yeah.
This is why we do it, because we can't control Levy. We can't do anything about Levy right now. if in an ideal world, if he sold the club, it'd be happy days. But we know we have got no control until the protests happen. There's nothing we can do right now. So the focus is on Ange. The focus is on the team, the performances. Players like Solanke, can you push on now? You've got your 2 goals. I think that's 4 in the Premier League this season. Can you consistently score? Can you score away from home for us? Because we're going to need you to. So look, man, really interesting conversation to have amongst us. And look, thank you for both of you for having this this debate. It was really interesting.
Yeah, thank you very much. Really enjoyed it.
I don't know about you, Harry, if you need to jump off. I don't know how you're feeling, Nige. Are you tired? Are you got any more to give? Because there's something else I'd like to talk about. But by all means, if you guys have to go, I get it.
Yeah, I have to jump if that's all right.
No, totally.
I think my dinner's
and
ready.
Harry,
Thank you for having me.
No, Harry, thank you so much for coming on. You've been fantastic, and hopefully you can come on again in the future.
I'd love to.
Yeah, it's been a really good show.
Yeah.
And
before you go though, Harry, can you let us know where we can find you and what you got coming up on your channel?
I can, yeah. So you can follow me on social media at HarryScarf22 on X, Instagram, TikTok, creating daily football content and you're getting involved in football discussions. But I have my own YouTube channel, Scarfey Spurs Talk, where we produce England, Premier League and Tottenham content, match previews, match reactions, match day vlogs, news lives, but mainly a weekly Spurs podcast every Monday, 7:45 p.m. live on YouTube, joined by a special guest. Got Billy T as a regular on the show, and different people like that chipping in, like from Last Word on Spurs, etc., which is always a pleasure. I've obviously had Nige on. Dan, I'm very keen to get you on as well for the end of the season to get your thoughts about Ange. I might wait until we progress a bit further in the competitions, but no, it's all going well. Really appreciate you having me, and if anyone hasn't already, do subscribe to this channel. So it's an honor to come on. So really privileged to be one of your first guests. What was it you say, 4th guest? So that's an honor. Thank you very much.
No, and Harry and anybody watching either live or if you come and watch this show on after it's been put out there, please go over and subscribe to Harry. I mean, he's doing amazing. So please give him a sub. Get watching his content, support him. And yeah, again, Harry, thanks so much for coming on. And look, let's just hope that Spurs, surprise me. I don't know about you guys, but
let's hope so.
We all want the same thing, don't we? We want success. We want to win.
Yeah.
And however we get there, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Thank you to both of you. Thank you to all the listeners as well. Big up, all the best. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye-bye.
And you.
Nige, have you got anything left to give?
Hello. Yeah, I can go for another 10, mate, if you want. Talk about the Ipswich game quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Look, yeah, let's talk about the Ipswich game. Let's. Have you got any initial thoughts on the Ipswich game before I kind of look into a bit more of a detail about them?
Just it's a game we have to win. Game that I expect us to win, and yeah, we're at home, so I fully expect us to win the game.
So Ipswich, this. Sorry, man. Did you say something?
No, carry on, mate.
Just a voice from somewhere. So I've got the Premier League table up. It's a bit. The one I've got up is pretty rubbish. So let me switch to a better website. Because that was all a bit skewed. The one I was looking at. So let's get into it. Let's get into the league table. Let's see how Ipswich are getting on this season. So Ipswich are 18th. They haven't won a game. Oh my God, Nige. That don't sound good, does it? Huh?
We're at home. We're fine.
No, honestly, we're Dr. Tottenham. Dr. Tottenham. We did it
Not
for
at
Palace.
Look, it was surely, Ipswich, maybe.
Surely we should be. But why I highlighted that is because of what happened at Palace, and we like to give gifts out, don't we? We like to give the gifts.
We do. We're nice. We're a kind club.
So they've had 5 draws, and they've lost. Let's have a look. 5 games. They've scored 10 goals. They've conceded 21. They're on -11. They're on 5 points, 2 draws, and they've lost the last 3. They're in dreadful form. Now, what I think, what I've seen of Ipswich is they're a team who likes to play. They like to pass the ball around. They like to press. The trouble is they just haven't got the quality of player. They've got a really good up-and-coming forward, which I think we talked about the other week, Rory Delap's son.
Yeah.
But Ipswich, what are they going to do when they come to Tottenham? Are they going to sit back and defend and try and play on the counter? I'm not sure. I think they're just going to try and play their game and their natural game and try and get something out of it, which will suit us down to a T, won't it, Nigel?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Ipswich will be crazy if they try and sit back, because I just don't think they have the quality to keep us out. So I think they're going to have to. I think they may keep it tight for the first half, and like you say, try and catch us on the transition, try and catch us on the break. But I just think we're going to have too much quality for them. I can't see anything. I'll be amazed if Spurs don't get 3 points.
You'll be amazed.
Be amazed.
Look, surely that's a win, or a given. Would you say it's a given, Nigel? You know, when you look at the fixtures,
as far as Premier League games go, I think Ipswich at home is about as much of a given as you can get. Saying that, they played really well against Brentford. You know, I know they lost 4-3, but not many teams go to Brentford and score 3. So we have got to be wary of them. They have got some talent up front, but I just think we'll have too much quality.
So I got it wrong. They haven't lost the last 3. They've drawn, or was it drawn the last 2? Because it was flipped on its head. The statistic I was looking at, because they actually drew. They drew at home to Leicester, and they had a man sent off on 77 minutes, and Jordan Ayew got a late goal deep into injury time to salvage a point. You look at their statistics against Leicester, and that gives you an idea of how they kind of play. Leicester dominated the ball. Leicester had 20 shots away from home, 6 on target. They had 40 touches in the box to Ipswich's 26. So when I look at that, I see that Leicester were the better team. Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see the game. I don't know how much the game changed when it went down to 10 men, but it went down to 10 men quite late, didn't they? So it wasn't like it, Leicester had a whole half. It was like 70 odd minutes. So yeah, I mean, look, if Leicester can have 20 shots against them away from home, then I fear for Ipswich at Spurs. I really do. I think this is one game we could have 5 or 6.
Pardon? Yeah, it could be double figures.
Well, maybe not double. I think there's a game we could get 5 in.
And we can. We've beaten likes of West Ham, Villa, Everton. Well, if you look at our home fixtures this season, we have got a good home record. So as long as the players go out with the right attitude and not go into the game that it's just going to be easy, as long as the team have the right attitude, then yes, it should be a straightforward win. Now, I don't know if you know this, but Ipswich have dropped 12 points from winning positions, the most of any team in the league. And what does that tell you?
It tells me it's very much like, can you remember the opening game when they played Liverpool?
Yeah.
They played Liverpool opening game, played really well first half, but just couldn't keep it up. And I think this is what Ipswich are like. I think, there's a good chance they might score early, or they might get a goal in the first half against any team, but I just don't think they have the quality to keep going for 90 minutes. So I think, and we know what Spurs are like. They're capable of a burst of 15 minutes, score 3 or 4, game done. I think Ipswich are a good side, but they just lack enough quality.
So you think they're a good footballing side, but they're not a good team in regards to picking up results?
I mean, you look at the Liverpool game. they pressed really hard first half, really put Liverpool under pressure, lots of pressing. And they might do that against Spurs, but whether they can do that for 90 minutes, I just don't think they have it in them. And after a while, second half, Liverpool, the better side, they got control of the game, and Ipswich just couldn't live with them. I think that would be similar against Spurs. I'm not sure whether they will press Tottenham, though, to be honest, away from home.
And if we look at their last game before that, the one that you mentioned, Nigel, about Brentford when they lost 4-3, Ipswich got another man sent off that game. So is that a sign that they do press and sometimes maybe they just go a little bit too hard and end up just kind of getting rash, flying in just because, I don't know, maybe there's a bit of a discipline issue there?
Quite possibly, yeah. I mean, I've not seen a great deal of Ipswich. I've seen them a couple of times live on the TV. Obviously, kind of saw the Brentford game as well. I think, yeah, they might well have, like I say, because they haven't got the quality. I think maybe they lose their heads a little bit sometimes, get frustrated. But listen, this is a game we shouldn't really be too concerned about. I think this is a game we should win quite comfortably.
Okay, dokie. Yeah, let's just hope so. Let's hope that it's a straightforward win going into the international break.
It'd be nice to get a win international break. We haven't done it yet this season, have we?
No. Very good point. Nigel, was there anything else you want to discuss? I know if you want to jump off, please, you can. I'm going to stay online a little bit longer because I want to go over the Premier League table and just go through the results of the weekend, look at the league. I know we did it a couple of weeks ago when we had Stel on the show, and I found it quite an interesting thing to do because it just kind of, in the international break nights, we're going to do that show, the penalty box. You remember we've talked about it when we're going to get the other fans on board. I have to be honest, Nigel, I haven't really been and seeing all the other teams. Obviously, I know the results. I hear about it. I see it. I hear some match reactions from other fans, from other clubs I listen into, because I listen into other YouTube shows where they not just talk about Spurs, they talk about all the bigger clubs. So I need to kind of get on that a bit, and I'll probably stay online a bit longer and cover the league. So by all means, stay. If you want to crack on, you can jump off. It's entirely up to you. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm fine. I can't go anyway because I'd have to end the stream my end. So,
well, you can't just jump off.
Don't think so.
I'm sure you can.
Well, I could remove myself, I guess, but I'll stay on for a bit. It's fine.
You sure?
Yeah,
let's try and wrap it up in 15 minutes. Is that fair?
Okay. Yeah.
Are you okay with that, Nigel? I don't want to put you under.
No,
cool, you might want to get into bed and.
I'm old, but.
What time do you normally go to sleep, Nigel?
Cool, like 10 o'clock.
Okay. So we're getting to that. We're getting close to that time.
We are.
Look, man. Like when I get into these shows, man, I really get into them, and look, let's just do it. Let's just do it. So let's have a look at the results of the Premier League at the weekend, and we'll go from there, and then we'll go to the league table. Yeah. Okay. Let's have a look. So where are we? So the weekend starting off on the 2nd of November. So the first game of the weekend, which we're going to enjoy talking about, Nigel, is the Newcastle win over Arsenal. Now, did you see it? Did you watch it? Have you any thoughts?
I did. Yeah, no, I did. I thought Newcastle played well. I thought Arsenal were off it. Like paying too much attention. Yeah, Arsenal didn't really seem to be at it at all. I thought Newcastle played well. Yeah, good to see Newcastle win, and always nice to see Arsenal lose.
What's going wrong with Arsenal at the moment, Nigel, in your opinion?
There's something not right, isn't there? But I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I know they've got a few injuries still.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's something not quite right with them.
Now, if we look at just quickly go over the game state, and we look at the match stats, Arsenal dominated the ball. They had 63%, 0.9 possession. They had 10 shots, but only 1 on target. And then if you look at Newcastle, they had 9 shots, 4 on target. It sounds quite a tough game, a tight game. Look, Arsenal edged it with the shots, but Newcastle had the better chances if you obviously hit it on target. Arsenal had more touches in the opposition box with 31 to Newcastle 17. Look at the aerial duels won. Newcastle came out on top with 19 to Arsenal's 14. There was a lot of fouls in this game, Nigel. I don't know if you noticed. 16 for Newcastle and not 18 for Arsenal. Look, I mean, Arsenal, they lose to Bournemouth, wasn't it, the week before?
They did, yeah.
They did. I know. Did they get a man sent off? Is that right? That's what happened? Yeah. So obviously that contributed massively to the kind of end result. But even still, I remember that game. Arsenal had a really good chance in that second half. I think it was Martinelli who fluffed his lines. He did a bit of a Timo Werner with his finish. So look, Arsenal, they've lost the last couple. Let's just jump to the league table and see where they are. And also we'll have a look at Newcastle, where they are as well. So Arsenal, they've won 5, same amount as Spurs. They've drawn 3 and they've lost 2. And that the last 2 defeats have come in the last 2 matches. They've scored 17 goals. They've conceded 11 goals. Their goal difference is 6. So their form is a bit indifferent, isn't it, really? And I think if I think about Arsenal, I think that they should have signed a striker in the summer. They were crying out for a proper forward. They definitely was. So coming into this season, I was thinking, look, if Arsenal could get that forward, keep that good, strong defence. The midfield was pretty good. They had good options on the wing. I just thought they were really lacking that Haaland-type striker. Obviously, you're never going to get another Haaland, but there are strikers out there in the transfer transfer market where they could have signed, and they didn't do so. But hey, I thought, look, they will still be competitive. They'll still be near the top of the league. But as we've seen in the last couple of days, the last couple of games, that it's not going to go straight forward for them. Nigel, I've lost you. Where you gone?
No, I think Arsenal are going to... I don't think they're... don't want to put a jinx on it. I don't think they're title contenders this season.
Really?
I think they'll be up there, 3rd or 4th, but I think Liverpool City will win the title.
So when you say that, Nigel, that they're not being title contenders, you mean that they will be in the title race, but they won't win?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that a better way of putting it?
I think exactly like you just said. I think they are missing that striker. You know, they are missing that 20 goal a season striker.
And Havertz for
That
me
will get them over the line.
And even when they were winning and they started the season really well, Arsenal, I was talking to an Arsenal fan and I said, look, you're doing well. It's all well and good. You're kind of grinding out results. You're not particularly playing amazing, but your defense is good. You're not conceding many goals, but you're getting the results. And I did say to that Arsenal fan, I said, listen, where you're going to fall short this season is when it's going to come to the crucial games in the second part of the season when you need wins, when you come up against some real tough games. You may be still in the Champions League, you're in the cup competitions, you're going to need the killer. And you haven't done it. So that's where you're going to fall short. I'm not saying you're a bad team. I think Arsenal are still a very good team. But Arteta, he's lost his way a little bit in the last couple of weeks. He needs to get them back on it. Obviously, me and you being Spurs fans, we want them to fall down. We as a Spurs fan, we want to get as close to them as possible. Time will tell over the season. I do think Arsenal will pick back up a bit of form. Newcastle, let's go to them. They've had 4 wins. They've had 3 draws and they've had 3 losses. They've scored 10 goals. And they've conceded 10 goals and they've won 15 points. And so they're above. If you're looking at this table, what's going on with this table here? Hold on a second. That was wrong because basically the table which was showing me was at the stage of the fixtures. Hold on one second, Nigel. Just got a message. One second. Just bear with us. Just asking. Someone's. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Right, sorry about that. Yeah, so going back to the table, Newcastle 11th. Sorry, my mistake. 15 points. They're 1 point behind us. 13 goals, 12 conceded. Not the best, eh? Nigel?
I think, well, it's so early. I think it's one of those where the league is so congested. You look at where we are, 7th, and Newcastle a point behind us.
We're now 11th.
That's like four positions.
Yeah.
So, one defeat and we could be back down to 11th, or they could be up to 7th.
But they're not scoring a lot of goals. They're not scoring a lot of goals,
No.
but they're not conceding a lot of goals.
No. They're another team that not quite hit their straps yet, Newcastle. I'm not sure about them this season. Don't think they bought well in the transfer market. In fact, I'm not sure they bought anybody, have they?
Maybe one signing.
So, I can't see them being anywhere near the top.
No, I get that, and I just think that they're still a tricky side to play. They've beaten us. They've beaten Arsenal.
They'll win a lot of home games. They'll beat some of the top sides, but I think we will be close. Newcastle and Spurs will be in amongst it, but I don't think Newcastle. I expect Spurs to finish above Newcastle.
Right, before we jump off, let's just talk about a couple more. Are you okay, Nige? If you want to jump off, please do. Let's just focus on Liverpool again. They're doing very well. They won again at the weekend, didn't they? At home to Brighton. See much of that?
I didn't see any of it. No, I was watching Soccer Saturday, so I knew they were one down. But again, Liverpool good at home, and they are. Arne Slot's gone in there, and it's almost like nothing's changed. Liverpool's still up there, thereabouts. And I said a couple of weeks ago I can't see Liverpool winning the league. But now I'm looking at it and thinking, well, why not? Why not? They're not losing money, so I think they will be. I think they'll be City's closest challengers this year.
They're looking good, and we know Brighton. They're no mugs. That's only their second defeat of the season with Brighton, and that looks like a close game. And Brighton took the lead in that game in 14 minutes. There was 2 goals in the second half from Liverpool. Gakpo on 70 and Salah on 72. Now, if I go and have a look at the stats of that game, Brighton had more possession than Liverpool at their ground, Nige.
Yeah.
They had more possession at Anfield.
I know. Yeah, I know. It's nuts. Well, like you say, Brighton are a good side. So they can do that against teams. I still don't think Brighton they're not as good as away as they are at home. But they're capable of beating anybody on their day. But Brighton are a funny side to me because they always play well against the top sides. They always play well against Arsenal. They always play well against Spurs. Not Spurs are a top side. Liverpool, City, Man United. But you find that when Brighton go to Palace or a bottom 10 side, they don't always win. So yeah, I think Brighton are a dangerous side, especially against top sides. But Liverpool got the job done, and that's what matters.
It's a very good result for Liverpool. Very good result against a very tricky opponent, and they came through and they got the points. Just look, Nottingham Forest. Much to say about them because they're doing really well.
Forest are playing really well, aren't they? Again, not seen too much of them, but they have probably the most prolific striker in the league at the moment, and Chris Wood. Suddenly all these Spurs fans saying that we should have signed Chris Wood. But
seriously, you heard that? Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Or was that a joke?
I'm saying that we should have signed Chris Wood. It's unbelievable. But yeah, Forest is doing well, but I don't expect them to be up there at the end of the season. But fair play to them.
Got a good
They're playing some good
defence,
football as well.
They've got a very good defence. They've got the second best defence in the league. They've only conceded 7 goals. The only better defence in the league is Liverpool, with only conceding 6.
That surprised me. Really like Murillo. I think he's a top defender.
Yeah.
Obviously, they signed the guy from Fiorentina, didn't they? I can't remember his name now, but he's a really good centre half as well. Milinkovic, that's it. They've got a good side, Forest, this season. I think, like I say, I don't think they'll be up there on their bikes. But if they finish
position, though, Nigel, can they get into Europe?
I think if they finish 10th, that'd be a really good season for Forest. But hey, listen, ask me in 6 games. If they're there in 15, 16 games, you never know, do you?
Okay. They're doing very well. Let's move on quickly to City. City lost, Nigel. They lost to Bournemouth.
They do. And 2 defeats in a row for them. So I'm not sure how they got on tonight. I know they had a Champions League game. But yeah, City tend to do this, don't they? They go a couple of games without winning, and then suddenly they get on a run. It's just what City do. Doesn't surprise me, Bournemouth beating them, because I don't know whether you've seen Bournemouth this season, but they play some really nice football.
You like their manager?
Yeah. I'd quite happily have him at Spurs if and when Ange goes. I like him. And I like the way Bournemouth play. They play really good football.
Look, you're probably right. They probably will pick it up. They have got a lot of injuries. Bournemouth have been good. We're going to be going to their ground soon, Nigel, away to Bournemouth. I think it's either late in November or early December. I can't remember, but that's an up-and-coming game. It's going to be very tough match.
Yeah.
Look, let's wrap it up there. We'll be going into next week. We're trying to get another guest on. Hopefully, we'll find out in the next few days. Nigel, are you doing any more streaming for the rest of the week? Anything planned at all?
Nothing planned as yet. No, I'll probably do a stream with my son maybe Thursday. I think we talked about doing a Nigel Chonk show. We tried last night. Charlie was on his way home from uni, but didn't get back till like 10 o'clock. And we tried for 5 minutes. And you know what I'm like, anytime past 9:30. I was like, let's leave it. So, yeah. What about you?
Look, Nigel, I've done a couple of extra videos last week. I did a bit off the cuff one Friday night. It was fun. It wasn't planned. I just went online, and there was some people watching, and we had a really good chat about Spurs. This was before, obviously, the game against Villa. I then did a video last night, which I put out today at 12. So look, it really depends, and the opportunities arise. If they arise, I will jump on and do something, have a quick chat. But hopefully I'll be going back on Sunday to the Spurs review on Savage channel. So that's something to look forward to. And then it's back with us with our guest on Tuesday, Beyond the Lane episode 8.
We just need to find a guest, don't we?
Well, yeah. Let's follow that up. Let's chase it up, because that would be good. That would be good. So please, people who are watching, and who or if anybody comes and watches this back, please subscribe to Nige Pure Coys. Look, he's putting a lot of fantastic content out there. Please subscribe. Please like his stuff. And as I said, we'll be back. We'll be back next week together.
Yeah, absolutely. And the same, go subscribe to the Spurs Danlist. He puts out some great and interesting videos. If you haven't caught today's, go watch it. Go watch it. It's a must. And yeah, we will see you together next Tuesday when we will hopefully have another special guest. But thanks for joining us, and we will see you on the next stream.
Good night. Take care.